Art can take many forms. At the HCC West Loop campus, an exhibit is taking place where art takes on 3 dimensions. Maureen Lewis explains.
Tonight we're having an opening for 3D times 5, which is an art exhibit that features 3-dimensional work by 5 artists that are all faculty members here at HCC. And the reason that we wanted to present their work is they're very talented artists that teach 3D here at HCC. And so this exhibit gives their students an idea of what can really be done in those mediums, and to see professional work that represents what they're learning in class.
Jessica Kreuter is one of the artists.
I have the 4 pieces that are along the back wall, and they're all hand-built porcelain pieces, and a lot of them have to do with this idea of remnants or what's left behind. So there's some deer antlers that just have a gold, instead of a body, it has a gold chain. There's some records that are kind of slowly kind of fading away as a branch grows between them. There's 2 bodies that are on the floor that are kind of half-formed, whether they're animal and human, but kind of whether they're kind of falling apart or forming. And then the last piece is kind of this collection of branches, doorknobs, and hands in this stool that was my grandmother's.
If you don't go to a lot of art shows or museums, you may find this work a bit unusual.
Well, each artist has their own philosophy about their work, and most of this work is concept-driven. And what that means is that these artists are not replicating something as they see it. There's components of their work that may reflect something that you see in the real world, but they actually have a concept in mind and build a body of work based on that concept. So as an example, Clara Hogue does sculptures that combine the physical human body and also landscapes, an urban landscape. And it has to do with the interaction of humans in the urban environment and how the urban environment affects them. And so all of her work is based on that concept. And often for students, that's the hardest leap to make, to go from representing things you see in everyday life to building a concept for your work and stretching that and expanding it to something that's new and different and that other artists would not create. Jason Kitchell created the piece behind me, and it's called an ant skeleton. He handmade this out of ceramics. It's been fired and painted or stained. And the concept, he's showing an ant skeleton, though ants don't actually have skeletons in real life. He's presenting it as a specimen, as if it would have been, in a museum, and we were looking at the remains of something that has died.
Kreuter has her own reasons for making art you can walk around.
I think it's the language I speak the best in. So, I mean, even when I was working in high school or college, it kind of had this natural take to it. And so just building on that. And I guess I do work 2D in some sense with just flat objects, but they're usually made with clay. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be something you walk around. But
this exhibit is available at the West Loop campus until June 22nd. For HCC Beat, I'm John Woods.